Hi everyone, myself Professor C.D. Kadhane. Now we are going to learn that unit number 1, that is Introduction to Estimate and Approximate Estimates. So in this subject of quantity surveying, first unit is Introduction to Estimate and Approximate Estimates. So let us look at the introductory part of the estimates. Definition of estimates, what do you mean by estimate and what is mean by quantity survey. So an estimate for any construction work may be defined as process of calculating the quantities and costs of various items required in connection with work. It is prepared by calculating the quantities from the dimension on drawing for the various items required to complete the project and multiplied by unit cost of an atom or rate. Or in other way, the estimate of a project is therefore a forecast of its probable cost. The process of preparing an estimate is known as estimating. Now let us look at what is meant by quantity survey. It is a schedule or list of quantities of all possible atoms required for construction of any structure. Thus, the quantity survey indicates the amount of work to be done under each atom. Now, let us learn what are the purposes of estimating and costing. So, here there are many purposes of estimating and costing. To know the approximate cost of a proposed work, to obtain administrative approval and technical sanction, to know the requirement of tools, plants and equipments, to fix up the completion period, to draw up a construction schedule and program, to invite tender for execution of work, to keep control over expenditure during construction. Now let us learn what are the different types of estimates. So there are basically approximate estimate, detailed estimate, revised estimate, supplementary estimate, repair and maintenance estimate. Now let us learn about what are the situations when the supplementary estimate is prepared. It is detailed estimate for additional work and is prepared when additional works or changes are required to be supplementing the original works during the execution of work. The fresh detailed estimate of additional work is prepared in addition to the original estimate. The abstract should show the amount of original estimate and the total amount including the supplementary amount for which sanction is required. Now let us differentiate between the revised estimate and supplementary estimate. So we must know what is the basic difference between these two types of estimate, that is the revised estimate as well as the supplementary estimates. So in revised estimate, they are prepared when there is a change of rate or quantity of material or a major addition, alterations are introduced in original work. Whereas in supplementary estimate, they are prepared when additional work is required to supplement the original work during the progress of work. Second point of differentiation, when the original work sanction estimate is likely to exceed by more than 5% or when the expenditure on a work exceeds or likely to exceed the amount of administrative sanction by more than 10%. In supplementary estimate, the fresh detailed estimate of additional works prepared in addition to the original estimate. Third point of differentiation, that is in revised estimate, abstract sheet of original estimate need to be changed due to the change in rates or quantity of an atom. In supplementary estimate, the abstract sheet should show the amount of original estimate and the total amount including the supplementary amount for which sanction is required. Now let us learn in detail what is meant by approximate estimate, or it's also called as a preliminary estimate. This estimate is required for preliminary studies of various aspects of work or project to decide the financial position and policy for administrative sanction by the competent authority. In case of commercial projects, as in irrigation projects, residential building project and similar projects which earn revenue, the probable income may be worked out. To prepare the approximate estimate, less skill and time is required. Now, let us study what are the situations under which the approximate estimates are prepared. So, approximate estimates are prepared for different requirements or situations, just like number one, to give the client a rough idea of probable expenditure in short time without calculating the actual quantities. From cost of similar structure having similar specification, construction and locality. Second one, in case of government and public bodies, for sanctioning of the expenditure required for project in the form of administrative approval. In case of commercial projects, to study the cost benefit ratio. And this cost benefit ratio, if it is justified, then the project is carried out. In case of BOT or PPP, that is public private partnership projects, or build, operate and transfer projects, the approximate estimates play important role for decision making and for preparation of feasibility report of project. Now let us learn about detailed estimate or atom rate estimate. Detailed estimate is an accurate estimate and consists of working out the quantities of each atom of work. The dimensions like length, breadth and height of each atom are taken out correctly from drawing and they are entered in the measurement sheets for calculation of the quantities. Therefore, these quantities of each atom are calculated and then abstracting and billing are done. All other expenses required for satisfactory completion of project are added to the above cost to know the total cost of the detailed estimate. So now in next part is what is DSR, what is SSR, or is also called as schedule of rates. So DSR is nothing but a district schedule rate. SSR is a state schedule rates. So what is meant by first the schedule of rates? Schedule of rates are the rates of different atoms of works generally executed by the PWD department in a different construction or maintenance works. The rates are analyzed adopting prevailing market rates of labor and material at the time of preparation of schedule of rates. Schedule of rates help us guiding factors for preparing estimates of works to be taken up for execution and for justification of rates quoted by the tenderers for award and execution of works. District schedule rates. When schedule of rates are prepared by PWD for individual districts separately, then they are called as their district schedule rates for that particular district. Nowadays, the PWD prepares not the district schedule rates, but they are preparing the state schedule of rates. When schedule of rates are prepared by PWD for the whole state, then they are called as state schedule of rates. Now, while execution of any construction work, maybe a building or roads or any other structure, we have to carry the materials from one place to other place. Similarly, we have to work below the ground level or above the ground level. So therefore, in order to account for these vertical distance traveled by the materials, means, equipments, tools, as well as horizontal distance traveled by materials, we have to learn the different concepts. Like first concept is a lead. It is the horizontal distance between the trench pit and the place where excavated earth is deposited, or it is simply a horizontal distance to be covered whenever material is to be transferred from one place to another place. Normally lead is taken as 30 meter. Separate measurements are taken for every 30 meter lead. Lift. It is the depth of excavation or the vertical movement of material called as a lift. Normally lift is taken as 1.5 meter. Separate measurements are taken for every additional 1.5 meter lift. Now let us learn about rate analysis. So rate analysis is nothing but a process of determining the rate per unit of a particular item of work from the quantities and costs of materials, labors, tools and plants, etc. and is known as rate analysis. Now what is meant by lead statement? So whenever we are to carry out the detailed estimate of any construction activity, just like a road, in that case for construction of a road we will require to bring the material from different destination towards the construction site. So therefore each material will have a different distance to travel from its source to the construction site. Therefore, this distance between the source availability of material and the construction site is known as a lead and is taken or expected in kilometer. In this lead statement, it gives the total cost of materials per unit of atom, and it consists of or it includes the first cost of the material, its transportation cost, its loading, unloading and stacking charges are considered in the lead statement. Now let us learn about the different concepts which are very important for the detailed estimate of any construction activity. So in this part we are going to study what do you mean contingencies, work charge establishments, percentage charges, provisional sum, prime cost, day work. So first let us study about contingencies. It is the incidental expense of a miscellaneous character which cannot be reasonably predicted during preparation of estimate, and to meet such unforeseen expenses an additional amount of 3% to 5% of the estimated cost of the work is provided in the total estimate. Now next one is a work charge establishment. So what do you mean by work charged establishment? During the construction of a project, considerable number of skilled supervisors, work assistants, watchmen, etc. are employed on a temporary basis. The salaries of these persons are drawn up from the lump sum amount allotted towards the work charged establishment. That is, establishment which is charged directly to the work, and lump sum amount of 2% to 2.5% of the estimated cost is provided towards the work charge establishment. Now let us learn about percentage charges. When an engineering department executes the work of another department of government or local bodies, a percentage amount 10% to 15% of the estimated cost is charged for the recovery of the cost of establishment, planning, designing, supervision or execution of work, and is called as a percentage charges. Now let us study about what is meant by a provisional sum. Certain amount provided by experienced estimator in the estimated cost of the project for some special type of work whose details are not known at the time of preparing estimate and are called as provisional sum. Some special works are as follows. So in case of shifting of water lines, installation of air conditioners and fitting of different equipments, these costs are not known while preparing the detailed estimate. Therefore, some amount is considered as a provisional sum for this unforeseen item during preparation of estimate. Next one is a prime cost. So prime cost is the actual cost of article at shop and refers to supply of articles only and not to carrying out the work. During preparation of an estimate, it is not always possible to specify exact types of articles required. For example, water supply fittings, sanitary fittings, door and window fitting, etc. are to be decided during the time of actual fitting according to the choice of the owner or engineer in charge. For the execution of such items, reasonable amount is kept in the estimate as a prime cost. Now let us learn about what is meant by day work. The term day work is used to denote a procedure of costing or valuing an item of work on the basis of actual labors and material required. Certain types of works cannot be paid by measurement, that is, in case of special types of architectural works, dismantling partition wall, taking out root of trees, doing earthwork in excavation, for foundation trenches, etc. are paid on the basis of actual quantity of materials and labor hours required to complete the job are denoted by day work. Thank you very much for patient listening, and please stay at home and stay safe. Thank you once again.
So I'm going to boot up Camtasia 9, and I'm going to click on voice narration, and I'm going to record my script. I'll record just the first part of it, and the last part